Joan tightened his grip on the pulse rifle as he walked the cold metal halls of Frontier Station Epsilon. His dark eyes scanned every corner, every shadow. 20 years of hatred fueled his focus. 20 years of stories about the monsters who had nearly wiped out humanity. The Eri. Even thinking their name made his jaw clench. June had been only 5 when the last galactic war ended, too young to fight, but old enough to remember his father never coming home. Old enough to remember his mother's tears as news of destroyed Earth colonies filled their screens. Kim heard the news. Ta jogged up beside him. Another human security officer with the same hard eyes that all survivors shared. What news? June asked, continuing his patrol route. They're coming here. To our station. Tae's voice dropped to a whisper. The Silver Skins. June stopped walking. The array? Here. Why? Peace talks. Ta spat the words like they tasted bad. Command just announced it. Some big diplomatic mission. They arrive tomorrow. June's grip tightened on his weapon until his knuckles turned white. Peace talks. After what they did to Mars colony. After what they did to his father and millions of others. And guess who's providing security? Ta continued. No. Yes. Us. Our unit. Captain Han wants us in briefing room 3 in 20 minutes. June nodded and Ta left. But June couldn't move yet. His mind filled with images from training videos. Silver-scaled aliens with amber eyes. Monsters who could tear through hull metal with their bare hands. Creatures who had shown no mercy to human children during the war. Now he would have to stand guard while they walked freely on a human station. The briefing room was packed with 30 security officers, all with the same hard expressions. Captain Han, a tall woman with a scar running down her face, another gift from the Eri, stood at the front. I know what you're all thinking, she said. I'm thinking it too. But orders are orders. The array delegation arrives at 800 tomorrow. 6 of them, including their lead diplomat. Our job is to keep them safe. A rumble of angry whispers filled the room. Keep them safe, someone muttered. After what they did to us. Captain Han raised her hand for silence. Politics above our pay grade. The brass thinks peace might be possible, or profitable. Either way, we do our jobs. She looked each officer in the eye. And we do them well. No incidents. No accidents. No revenge. Clear. Yes, Captain, they answered together, though June said the words without feeling them. After the briefing, June returned to his small quarters. From a metal box under his bed, he took out the only photo he had of his father. Han Menu smiled in his Earth Defense Force uniform, unaware that 3 months after this picture was taken, an Eri attack ship would vaporize his entire unit. They're coming here, Dad, June whispered to the photo. The ones who took you from us. June placed the photo on his desk and accessed his terminal. He pulled up the security briefing on the Eri delegation. 6 visitors. Their leader was named Sua. The file included an image. Silver scales covered her face and neck, catching the light like tiny mirrors. Her eyes were bright amber with vertical pupils like a cat's. Her features were almost human-like, but too perfect, too symmetrical. June felt the old hatred bubbling up inside him. Tomorrow these creatures would walk the same halls as human children. The same monsters who had shown no mercy would now ask for peace. I'll do my job, June promised his father's photo. But I won't forget what they are. As the station lights dimmed for night cycle, June lay awake, the face of the Eri diplomat Sua floating in his mind. He had been raised to hate her kind. Tomorrow, he would meet the enemy face to face, and despite the captain's orders, many on the security team secretly hoped the peace talks would fail. The docking bay fell silent as the Eri ship connected to Frontier Station Epsilon. June stood at attention, pulse rifle held across his chest. His heart pounded so hard he was sure everyone could hear it. The airlock hissed open. 6 figures stepped through, their silver-scaled skin catching the bright lights of the docking bay. They wore simple blue robes with no weapons visible. At the front walked Suwa, the diplomat from the file. In person, her amber eyes seemed even brighter. Captain Han stepped forward. "Welcome to Frontier Station Epsilon. I am Captain Han. We will escort you to your quarters and then to the reception." Suwa bowed her head slightly. "Thank you, Captain. We are grateful for your hospitality." Her voice surprised June. It was soft, musical almost. Not the harsh growl he had expected from the monsters in the training videos. "Security Team Alpha, form up," Captain Han ordered. June and 5 other officers moved into position around the array delegation. June found himself directly behind Suwa. Up close, he could see that her scales were tiny, like silver fingerprints covering her skin. The sight made his stomach turn. As they walked through the station, humans stopped to stare. Some looked curious. Others showed open hatred. Children were pulled closer to their parents as the array passed. Suwa seemed to notice everything but said nothing. Her head remained high, her steps graceful. June watched her carefully, looking for signs of the savage creature he had been taught to hate. The reception was held in the station's largest hall. Human officials in formal uniforms mingled awkwardly with the array delegates. June stood against the wall, watching Suwa as she spoke with Admiral Park, the station commander. "Is it true that array can breathe in space?" the Admiral asked. Suwa smiled politely. "No, that's a human myth. We need oxygen just like you, though we can hold our breath longer underwater." "Interesting," the Admiral nodded. "And your scales? Are they armor?" "Hardly." Suwa laughed softly. "They're more like your fingernails. Protective, yes, but not against weapons." June frowned. This wasn't what he had been taught. According to his training, array were nearly invulnerable, with battle armor built into their bodies. Across the room, June noticed a station worker moving oddly. The man's hand kept touching his pocket, and his eyes never left Suwa. June shifted slightly, watching more carefully. The man began walking toward Suwa and the Admiral. Something metallic glinted in his hand. June didn't think. His body moved before his mind could catch up. 3 long strides brought him between Suwa and the approaching man just as a blade flashed out. "For Earth," the man screamed, lunging forward. June caught the attacker's wrist, twisting until the knife clattered to the floor. With a quick sweep of his leg, he brought the man down. Other security officers rushed over, restraining the would-be assassin. When June turned around, Suwa was staring at him, her amber eyes wide with surprise. "You saved me," she said quietly. June said nothing. His mind was spinning. Why had he moved so quickly to protect her? He should have been happy to let the array diplomat die. Captain Han appeared beside them. "Are you harmed?" she asked Suwa. "No, thanks to your officer." Suwa's eyes never left June's face. "Officer Kim acted on instinct and training," Captain Han said. "Security is our responsibility." Later, alone in the hallway outside the reception, June leaned against the wall. His hands were shaking. He had saved one of them, one of the monsters who had killed his father. "Why?" "Officer Kim." Suwa's voice made him turn. She stood a few meters away without her security escort. "You should not be alone, Delegate Suwa," June said stiffly. "I wanted to thank you properly." She took a step closer. "You had no reason to save me. Many humans would have been happy to see me dead." June's jaw tightened. "I was doing my job." "Perhaps." Suwa tilted her head, studying him. "Or perhaps there is more to both our species than what we've been taught to believe." She turned and walked away, leaving June with a strange feeling in his chest, something that felt uncomfortably like doubt. "You want me to do what?" June stared at Captain Han in disbelief. "You heard me, Officer Kim. You are now Delegate Suwa's personal security." Captain Han's face showed no emotion. "The Airy delegation specifically requested you." "But Captain, this is not a request. Kim, report to the Arai quarters in 30 minutes." She leaned closer. And remember, some of the other officers are questioning your quick reaction yesterday. Prove your loyalty by doing this job well." June left the office with a heavy heart. His fellow officers watched him pass, their eyes cold. To them, he was now the alien lover, the traitor who had saved an enemy. Sua was waiting when June arrived at the Arai quarters. She wore a simple white robe that made her silver scales shine even brighter. "Officer Kim, thank you for coming." She gestured to a chair. "Please, sit." "I prefer to stand," Jun said stiffly. Shua nodded. "As you wish. We will be attending peace talks all day. The schedule is on this tablet." Jun took the tablet without looking at her. His mind was filled with anger. At Captain Han, at Sua, but mostly at himself. Why had he moved to save her? Why couldn't he have been just a second slower? "You're wondering why I requested you," Shua said suddenly. June looked up, surprised. "I can see it in your eyes," she continued. "You hate being here. You hate being near me." "I'm doing my job," Jun replied. "You saved my life when others might have hesitated." Shua took a step closer. "I want to know why." "Training. Nothing more." Sua smiled slightly. "I don't believe that, and neither do you." The peace talks were held in a large conference room. Human diplomats sat on one side, Arai on the other. June stood behind Shua's chair, watching everyone carefully. The discussions were boring. Trade agreements, border patrols, mining rights. But Jun noticed something strange. When humans mentioned attacks on their colonies, the Arai seemed genuinely confused. During a break, Jun followed Sua to a quiet corner. "Your people seem surprised when we talk about the Mars colony massacre," Jun said. Sua looked at him for a long moment. "Because in our history, humans attacked first. Our colony on Vega Prime was destroyed without warning. 3,000 Eri died, including my grandmother." Jun frowned. "That's not what happened. Your ships fired on Mars colony. My father died there." "I'm sorry about your father," Sua said quietly. "But what if both sides think the other attacked first? You're saying someone lied." Sua touched a silver band on her wrist. A small hologram appeared between them. "These are Arai historical records. See for yourself." Jun hesitated, then looked at the floating images. The hologram showed Arai ships responding to a distress call from Vega Prime. It showed the colony in ruins and human ships nearby. "This could be fake," Jun said, but doubt crept into his voice. "It could be," Shua agreed, "just as your records could be altered." She closed the hologram. "But what if both sides were manipulated? What if the war benefited someone else?" Jun shook his head. "Why should I believe you?" "You shouldn't, not without proof." Shua's amber eyes met his. "But you should question everything you've been taught, as I am now questioning what I was taught about humans." Before June could respond, an alarm blared through the station. Emergency lights flashed red. "Security breach in Sector 7, announced the station eye. All personnel on alert." June grabbed Sua's arm. "That's near the main power core. We need to get you somewhere safe." As they hurried from the conference room, June's mind raced. Could Sua be right? Could both humans and Arai have been tricked into hating each other? And if so, who would benefit from their hatred? June pulled Sua through the flashing red corridors of the station. The alarm continued to blare around them. "This way," he said, leading her down a side passage. "There's a secure room near the medical bay." They turned a corner and stopped. 3 figures blocked their path. They wore dark clothes and masks, not station uniforms. "There she is," one of them said. "The Eri diplomat." Jun stepped in front of Sua, his pulse rifle raised. "Station security. Stand down." The figures pulled out weapons, not standard issue. Jun recognized the design. Black market pulse guns, highly illegal. "Move aside, human," the leader said. "Our quarrel is not with you. We only want the alien." Jun felt Shua's hand touch his back lightly. He could sense her fear, though her voice remained calm. "Who sent you?" she asked. The leader laughed. "Someone who knows the truth about your kind." "Last warning," Jun said. "Drop your weapons." They fired instead. Jun pushed Suwa behind a metal support beam and returned fire. His first shot hit one attacker in the shoulder. The second missed. The third struck the leader in the leg. But the second attacker got off a shot that caught Jun in the side. Pain exploded through his body as he fell. Through blurry eyes, he saw the leader limping towards Suwa, weapon raised. Something hot and primal surged inside Jun. A roar built in his chest. With strength he didn't know he had, he launched himself at the attacker. His vision turned red. His hands moved faster than thought. When the red haze cleared, all three attackers lay unconscious on the floor. Jun stood over them, breathing hard, his wound seemingly forgotten. "Jun?" Shua's voice sounded distant. "Are you all right?" He turned to her, confused by his own actions. Then the pain returned, and he collapsed. Jun woke in the medical bay. A human doctor stood over him, checking a screen. "Good, you're awake," the doctor said. "You lost some blood, but the wound wasn't deep. You should be fine in a few days." Jun tried to sit up. "The array diplomat. She's safe, thanks to you." The doctor gave him a strange look. "Though your test results are unusual." "What do you mean?" The doctor showed him a scan of his bloodstream. "Your adrenaline levels were off the charts. And there's something else." She pointed to glowing cells on the screen. "This genetic pattern. I've only seen it in old military files. They called it the beast gene." Beast gene. A military enhancement from the early war years. It was designed to make soldiers more aggressive toward enemies. The doctor looked at him curiously. "But there's something odd about yours. It seems to have bonded to a specific target." Before Jun could ask more, the door opened. Suwa entered, her silver scales catching the light. "You're awake," she said with relief. "I was worried." The doctor excused herself, leaving them alone. "You saved me again," Suwa said, sitting beside his bed. "Those attackers," Jun winced as he shifted. "They weren't station personnel." "No. And they weren't the first to try to stop the peace talks." Shua's amber eyes studied him. "Something happened to you during the fight. You changed." Jun looked away. The doctor mentioned something called the beast gene, a military enhancement. "We have heard of this," Shua said quietly. "Human soldiers with unusual strength and aggression. But you didn't seem aggressive toward me. In fact, you protected me." Jun remembered the surge of power, the red haze. The doctor said it bonded to a specific target. "But that doesn't make sense. It should make me want to kill Arai, not protect them." Suwa touched his hand gently. Her skin was cool against his. "Perhaps the gene doesn't work the way your military intended. Perhaps once you form a bond with someone, the beast protects rather than destroys." Jun pulled his hand away, uncomfortable with her touch, yet strangely drawn to it. "That's not possible. I was raised to hate your kind. Yet here we are," Shua said softly. "And these attacks show that someone fears what might happen if our people find peace." As Jun looked at her, he felt the beast inside him stir again. Not with anger, but with something far more frightening. It had chosen her. 2 days after the attack, Jun was back on duty. His side still hurt, but he ignored the pain. Something bigger was happening, and he needed answers. The attackers were hired guns, Jun said to Suwa as they walked through a quiet section of the station. "Not extremists like everyone thinks." "How do you know?" Shua asked. Station security found payment records on their devices. Someone paid them a lot of money. Jun looked around to make sure no one was listening. "But the credits came from a shell company." Shua nodded thoughtfully. "On our side, 2 Ari delegates received threats. The messages said they were traitors for talking to humans. They stopped at a viewport. Outside, stars shone in the darkness of space. The beauty made their problems seem small for a moment. "You showed me your historical records," Jun said quietly. "Now, I want to show you something." He led Shua to a small data room used by security personnel. After making sure they were alone, he entered his access code into a terminal. "These are classified military records from the start of the war," he explained. "I shouldn't have access, but a friend in intelligence owed me a favor." The screen filled with documents. Jun pointed to one. "This report is about the first attack on Mars colony. Look at the ship signatures." Shua leaned closer. "These energy patterns, they don't match Array ships." "Exactly." Jun pulled up another document. "And here's something even stranger. 3 months before the war, the Orion Consortium filed mining claims on planets in both human and Array territory." The Orion Consortium. Sua's eyes widened. "They tried to buy mining rights on Vega Prime before the war. We refused. So did we on Mars." Jun looked at her. "What if they decided to take what they couldn't buy?" Shua's silver scales seemed to ripple with emotion. "If this is true, millions died for corporate profit." Jun pulled up more files. "The consortium quadrupled in size after the war. They got emergency mining rights on disputed planets. And look who sits on their board." The screen showed a man in a military uniform. "General Ryu," Jun said. "He led many campaigns against the Array. After the war, he quietly joined the consortium." "And this one," Shua pointed to another face on the screen. "Kale Voss. He was an Array war minister. He also disappeared after the peace." They looked at each other, the truth settling between them like a heavy weight. "We need to tell someone," Shua said. "Who?" "The consortium has people everywhere." Jun closed the files. "We need solid proof before we go public." As they left the data room, Jun's communicator beeped. It was Captain Han. "Kim, report to my office immediately." Jun felt uneasy. "I have to go. Stay in your quarters until I return." Captain Han was not alone. Admiral Park stood beside her, his face grim. "Officer Kim," the Admiral said. "You accessed classified files today." Jun stiffened. "Sir, I can explain." "No need." The Admiral's voice was cold. "You've been sharing military secrets with the enemy." "The Array aren't the enemy," Jun said before he could stop himself. "We've been lied to about the war." Captain Han shook her head. "The beast gene has affected your mind, Kim. It's making you sympathize with them." "That's not true. Look at the evidence." "You are relieved of duty," the Admiral cut him off, "and will be held for psychological evaluation. The Array delegate will be informed that her actions constitute espionage." Jun felt the beast stirring inside him. "Sir, the Orion Consortium started the war. They're trying to stop the peace talks now." The Admiral and Captain exchanged looks. "The consortium is a valued partner in reconstruction," the Admiral said carefully. "These accusations are dangerous." Jun noticed something then. A small pin on the Admiral's collar. The Orion Consortium logo. "You're working for them," Jun said quietly. The Admiral sighed. "Security to my office. Restrain Officer Kim." As guards entered, Jun made a quick decision. He knocked over a metal cabinet, creating confusion, and ran. He had to reach Shua. They were both in danger now. Behind him, an alarm began to sound. A voice echoed through the station. "Security alert. Detain Officer Kim Jun and Array Delegate Shua. They are to be considered armed and dangerous." Jun ran through the service tunnels of the station, staying away from the main corridors where security cameras would spot him. His mind raced faster than his feet. He had to reach Shua before they did. Red emergency lights flashed as the station's AI repeated its message. "Security alert. Detain Officer Kim Jun and Array Delegate Shua." He reached the Array quarters and found the door already forced open. Inside, furniture was overturned. Signs of a struggle were everywhere. But no Shua. "Looking for someone." June spun around. Ta stood in the doorway, pulse rifle aimed at June's chest. "Where is she?" June asked. "The alien." Ta's face showed disgust. "Why do you care? What did she do to you, June?" "Mind control." "No one controlled me. I found the truth." June took a step forward. "The consortium started the war. They killed millions, human and Arai, for mining rights." Ta's rifle didn't waver. "You sound crazy." "Maybe, but I'm not wrong." June looked at his former friend. "Where did they take her?" Something flickered in Ta's eyes. "Doubt, perhaps. Docking Bay 3, special transport. They're sending her back to Arai space after they question her." "You mean torture her?" Ta lowered his rifle slightly. "I don't know what to believe anymore, June. But I saw the evidence you accessed. It raises questions. Help me, Ta. For the truth." After a long moment, Ta sighed. "Take the maintenance shaft to level B. It bypasses security." He handed June a key card. "This will get you into the docking bay. Now go before I change my mind." Docking Bay 3 was heavily guarded. From his hiding spot in a cargo container, June counted 6 armed officers. Through a window, he could see Sua inside a small transport ship. Her hands were bound, and her silver scales looked dull under the harsh lights. The beast inside him growled. Protecting her wasn't just instinct now. It was choice. June checked the pulse pistol Ta had given him. Not enough to take on 6 guards. He needed a distraction. He spotted a control panel for the bay's loading system. Perfect. June slipped between container stacks until he reached the panel. He entered an override code and set the loading arms to emergency mode. Alarms blared as the massive mechanical arms began moving wildly. Guards scattered for cover. In the chaos, June sprinted toward the transport ship. The door was locked. He swiped Ta's card, but a red light flashed. Denied. "Need help?" Sua's voice came from inside. She had freed her hands and was working the door controls. The door slid open. June jumped inside just as a guard spotted him and fired. The shot missed. "Can you fly this thing?" June asked as they sealed the door. "Better than you." Shua moved to the pilot's seat. Warnings flashed on the control panel as the ship's engines came to life. Outside, guards were returning to their positions. "They're closing the bay doors," June said. Shua's hands moved quickly over the controls. Not fast enough. The ship lifted off, turned toward the narrowing gap, and shot forward. Metal scraped metal as they barely squeezed through. Then they were in space, the station growing smaller behind them. "They'll send ships after us," Jun said. "Probably." Shua set a course away from both human and Arai space. "We need to go somewhere neutral. Somewhere we can expose the truth." June looked at their fuel levels. "We have enough to reach Nexus Station. It's a trading hub, not controlled by either side." As the stars streaked by, Jun felt strange. For 20 years, he had dreamed of killing Arai. Now he was running away with one, protecting her with his life. "What happens to us after this?" he asked. "If we survive." Shua turned to him, her amber eyes soft in the dim light of the cockpit. "There's something I need to tell you about my people. We have our own version of your beast gene. We call it the soul's choice." "What does that mean?" "It means once we bond with someone, it's for life." She reached out and touched his hand. "My soul has chosen you, June, just as your beast chose me." June didn't pull away this time. The beast inside him purred with satisfaction. "We were taught to hate each other," he said, "but our bodies knew better." Outside, the stars continued to shine, indifferent to the small ship carrying 2 fugitives who were once enemies. Nexus Station hung in space like a giant metal star. Unlike the clean, military design of Frontier Station Epsilon, Nexus was a chaotic mix of old and new sections built over many years. Ships of all kinds docked and left at all hours. It was the perfect place to hide. "We're being hailed," Sua said as they approached. What do we tell them? Jun asked. The truth, but not all of it. Sua opened the communication channel. Nexus Control, this is Transport Ship Kita requesting emergency docking. We have valuable information for sale. In places like Nexus, information was currency. The controller quickly gave them landing coordinates. They docked in a lower section of the station. As they stepped out of their ship, Jun felt uneasy. The air smelled of machine oil and too many species living close together. We need to find the broadcast center, he said quietly. Sua nodded. And avoid both human and HFY agents. The consortium will have people here too. They bought new clothes from a street vendor, plain, dark outfits that would help them blend in. Sua covered her silver scales with a hood and gloves. Jun kept his head down, one hand always near his hidden pistol. The broadcast center is in the upper levels, Sua said after checking a public terminal. It can send messages to all major systems. Then that's where we need to go. As they moved through the crowded corridors, Jun noticed someone following them, a tall figure in a black coat. Then another, coming from a different direction. We've got company, he whispered to Sua. She nodded slightly. I see them. 3 more ahead. They were being boxed in. Jun looked around for an escape route and spotted a maintenance ladder. This way, he said, pulling Sua into a side passage. They climbed the ladder quickly, emerging 2 levels up. Alarms began to sound below them. They're not even trying to be subtle now, Jun said. They ran through the less crowded upper levels. The broadcast center was just ahead. A large room with communication equipment powerful enough to reach all human and HFY worlds. 20 meters from the entrance, a group of armed figures stepped out to block their path. Some were human, others were HFY. All wore the small Orion Consortium pin. That's far enough, said their leader, a human woman with cold eyes. The Consortium appreciates your research, but we can't let you share it. More agents appeared behind them. They were trapped. Your governments know what you did, Jun said. They know you started the war. Do they? The woman smiled. Who do you think funds their military? Who rebuilds their colonies? The consortium is too big to fail now. Then we'll tell everyone, Sua said. The woman raised her weapon. No, you won't. Jun felt the beast rising inside him. Not just anger this time, but something more. Power seemed to flow through his muscles. His vision sharpened. Sua, he said quietly. Whatever happens, get to the broadcast center. Send the evidence. She looked at him, understanding in her amber eyes. Your beast is ready. So is my soul. Before the agents could react, Jun charged. The beast gave him impossible speed and strength. He knocked down 3 agents before they could fire. Behind him, Sua moved with similar grace. Her silver scales hardened into armor as her soul's choice activated. She deflected a shot with her arm, the energy blast scattering harmlessly off her scales. They fought back to back, a dance of beast and soul. Human and HFY, once enemies, now perfectly matched partners. But there were too many agents. A blast caught Jun in the leg. Another grazed Sua's shoulder. Go, Jun shouted, blocking the path of 3 more agents. I'll hold them here. Sua hesitated only a moment, then sprinted for the broadcast center. Several agents followed her. Jun fought harder, embracing the beast fully. His body moved faster than thought. Pain didn't matter, only buying time for Sua. As he fought, a strange peace filled him. He no longer hated HFY, no longer doubted his beast's choice. Whatever happened next, the truth would come out, and his heart had found its match in the most unexpected place. A silver-scaled alien he was raised to hate. Jun's body ached. Blood ran down his arm from a wound he didn't remember getting. Still, he fought on. The beast inside him refused to fall. 3 more consortium agents lay unconscious at his feet, but others kept coming. They were being careful now, keeping their distance, firing from cover. A blast hit the wall near his head. June ducked behind a metal container. His breath came in short gasps. He wondered if Shua had reached the broadcast center. He closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the strange connection between them. Somehow, he knew she was still fighting. Still alive. "Officer Kim," a voice called. "This is Captain Han. We know you're injured. Surrender, and we'll get you medical help." June peered around the edge of the container. Captain Han stood with a group of human soldiers. Their weapons were raised, but they weren't firing. "The consortium is lying to you," June shouted back. "They started the war. They killed millions of humans and are rife for profit." "We know," Captain Han said, surprising him. "Your friend Tai sent us the evidence you found. We're not here for the consortium." Before June could respond, screens all around the station flickered to life. Sua's face appeared on every display. Behind her, the broadcast center's logo was visible. "People of Earth colonies and Arai worlds," she began. "I am Delegate Sua of the Arai Peace Mission. The war between our species was engineered by the Orion Consortium." The screen split to show the evidence: ship signatures that didn't match, secret mining claims, payments to officials on both sides. "For 20 years, we have hated each other," Sua continued. "But the real enemy has been profiting from our blood." June smiled. She had done it. The consortium agents began retreating. Some threw down their weapons. Captain Han's soldiers moved in to arrest them. "The broadcast is going to all systems," Captain Han told June. "Ta convinced Admiral Park to look at your evidence. The real evidence, not what the consortium wanted us to see." June nodded, then stumbled as pain shot through his leg. The beast's strength was fading now that the immediate danger had passed. "Sua," he said, "I need to find her." The broadcast center was a mess of broken equipment and signs of battle. 4 consortium agents lay unconscious or restrained, and in the center of it all stood Sua, still broadcasting. "We cannot undo the past," she was saying, "but we can build a different future, one where humans and Arai work together instead of fighting." When she saw June in the doorway, her amber eyes lit up. She finished her message and ended the broadcast. "You did it," June said. "We did it." Sua came to him, helping him to a chair. Her silver scales were scratched and dull in places, but she was smiling. "Are you badly hurt?" "I'll live." He looked up at her. "What happens now?" "Now we face the consequences," she said. "Not everyone will believe us. The consortium has many friends." "And many enemies," said a new voice. They turned to see Admiral Park entering with several officers. The Admiral looked tired but determined. "The evidence you found has been verified," he told them. "Governments across human and Arai space are already moving against consortium assets. Their board members are being arrested." "And what about us?" June asked. The Admiral smiled slightly. "Officially, you two are heroes. Unofficially, you've created quite a diplomatic situation. A human and an Arai with a biological bond. The scientists are very excited." "We're not lab specimens," June said firmly. "No, you're not," the Admiral agreed. "You're something new. Maybe something important for both our species." 6 months later, June stood at a viewport on a small research vessel. Stars streaked by as they traveled through space. After the broadcasts, everything had changed. Peace talks resumed with real progress. The consortium's grip on both governments was broken. Scientists studying their unique bond discovered that humans and Arai shared more genetic similarities than anyone had realized. "Enjoying the view?" Shua asked, joining him at the window. "Just thinking," Jun said, taking her hand. Her silver scales felt cool against his skin. 20 years of hating your kind. And now your beast and my soul have chosen differently," she finished. "Sometimes the heart knows better than the mind." Their ship was bound for a newly discovered planet on the edge of known space, As joint explorers representing both species, they would be the first to set foot on this new world. "Do you ever regret it?" June asked. "Everything we went through." Sua shook her head. "How can I regret finding you? Even if it took a war, a conspiracy, and a desperate escape." June smiled and pulled her close. The beast inside him, once filled with hatred, now purred with contentment. He had been raised to hate her kind, but his heart had chosen differently.